Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. This is Amy from With Love by Amy, and today we're going to do new supplies versus old supplies and make two cards that are very similar. So we are going to use this Gina K and Thermoweb collaboration set called Penguin Pals. It's a card kit that I bought last fall and I haven't used it yet. I feel bad about that. My kid's been wanting to make a card, but I just decided to do this. So we're going to make the penguins with scraps. I always try to reach for my scraps first, and if you are interested in how I organize my scraps, I will link the video up here in the corner. And so we're just going to pull out some black and some white, and we need a little bit of orange for the penguin's feet and beak. And we're going to just make sure that these little scraps fit for the pieces that we need. Now, I have a question for y'all. How small of a scrap is too small to save in your book? Because these are like, I don't know, I kind of feel like if you can still visualize yourself using it, it's worth keeping. So let me know in the comments below what you think is too small of a scrap to use. So we are die cutting all this out. I'm going to make two penguins, and I'm going to try to, my thought process is, since I don't really want it to be a wintry themed card since we're going into the summer, and I'm going to try to make it like a kid themed sort of card so that they can be kind of like versatile for my kids to give out for birthdays for their friends, because there's always a million birthday parties for the kids' friends. So here I am just sort of rearranging the penguin and seeing if I like how it looks. And it's coming together nicely. I like it. Lots of tiny pieces though. It turns out really cute, but I'm not sure I'm 100% like on board with all the little pieces of these like piecing die sets. So yeah, it takes me a while to get all the pieces back together, and I realized that at one point I misplaced the other little black dot, so I had to go cut some more, because we are making two of those penguins. So I'm going to try to make it like a beach scene, and I'm going to do some tearing of some sand or craft colored cardstock and some maybe sandy colored cardstock that I have in my scraps. And the goal is to try to make something that resembles some palm trees. I don't have a palm tree die or stamp in my collection, so I'm going to freehand these as trunks of the palm trees. And then I'm going to draw little lines on them like palm trees have on their trunks. And I've decided that this textured leaf is going to be my palm tree leaves. I know it doesn't really look like a palm tree at all, but I thought since it had texture on it and stuff, it'd be kind of cool. So here we are, just making trunks for our trees. And yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing, but we're trying because I thought palm trees would look cool. I literally didn't measure anything either. I'm just like guessing how tall these trees should be for a card. Yeah. This is how I craft all the time, though. I just kind of like fly by the seat of my pants type of thing. But I do like a good challenge. So challenging myself to create two cards, which in turn makes this video way longer than my normal videos. So thank you so much if you stick it out till the end with me. I really appreciate it. But I spared you the boredom of sitting through me die cutting like a million of those leaves for my palm trees. And we're going to go on super speed here and assemble these little penguins because they're so cute and little. And then we're going to glue them all together with their little arms and their eyes and all that good stuff. But as we are assembling these, I wanted to go ahead and talk about an upcoming summit that I am going to be speaking in. I'm super excited. It's called Papercrafters Get Organized Summit, and I am going to share the link in the description box below. It is going to be held the weekend of the 19th through the 21st of April 2024, and I am speaking on how to have some organization hacks for your craft room. And I am doing drawer organization for small bottles, and I'm super excited because I think it's a really cool, really easy solution to help you be able to inexpensively organize your like ink refills and Nouveau drops and pops of color, stuff like that. So I'm super excited about it, and I would love it if you use the link that I will share in the description box below to get your free coupon or your free ticket. You will have the option after you get your free ticket, once you look at all this all the presenters and their classes they're teaching. If the summit looks interesting to you after you have looked at all the provider or the presenters, you are able to get a lifetime access pass which gives you access ongoing past the weekend of the 19th through the 21st of April to all the presentations, so you can go back and watch them again. I totally think it's worth it. I've gotten to look at some of the presentations, and I totally am obsessed. So to get your craft room organized, it's worth it. Um, and I would really love to see you there. I am going to be having a Q&A session after my presentation goes live on Sunday, so hope to see you there. All right, back to the crafting. I am making the second card now, and I am making my penguin with punches. These, you could also do this with dies. I just think that punches for me in this experience are a little bit easier. Um, yeah, I'm using my trusty trick of putting a already punched out piece onto a post-it note so that I can line it up and punch the pieces out that are together when I'm trying to do the belly of the penguin there. So the penguin's body is two different ovals. I think it's the large oval punch I have from Stampin' Up! Back in the day. And honestly, you can customize this penguin to be as big or as small as you want. These are just the punches that I have. Like I said, I could have used the die cuts, but I felt like using punches. So if you have a bunch of punches in your stash, this is really a cool trick to be able to make some cool stuff like this to accentuate your cards. And we're going to use my post-it note trick again to punch this out, or maybe not, because I just realized that I shouldn't have glued the beak on yet, and it would chop off his beak if I decided to run it back through the punch. So we are not putting it in the punch again, because we don't want to chop off his beak. And I think that is just part of a small oval that I did for his face, and I'm not happy with it, so we're going to punch out a new piece. I didn't like it, so we wanted more white for the face. I don't know what I'm doing. I saw an idea from, what the heck was her name? Her name is Jackie Topia on Instagram, and she is a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and she had made this penguin with punches. I don't know if she made exactly these, like this shape, or I mean, this size of I can't talk today. Penguin, not pumpkin, penguin. So I don't know if she made exactly this size of penguin in her demonstration. It was quite the older demonstration that I found on Pinterest, but it was really cute, and so I wanted to give her credit for the idea. I have no idea if she came up with it. I know that back in the day when I used to go to Stampin' Up! Parties and stuff, the demos would always have neat stuff to share. But look at that penguin, isn't he so cute? I love him. I will say he's pretty big though. When I put him on this A2 size card that I'm making here, dude is big. He's like an emperor penguin compared to like a baby penguin that I make. All right, so we're going to make another penguin here, but we are going to use the Owl Builder Punch. Oh, now I guess in between that, we're going to color the trunks on our trees. And we're going to make beach balls too. Yes, so I don't have a beach ball stamp or anything, so I punched out, I think those were 1-inch circles, and I just draw a little circle with my micron pen in the center, and then I make kind of like angled lines to the edge of the ball, and I just kind of eyeball it. Like I'm not going off anything, like I don't have a template or anything like that. And I just Googled what beach balls look like, so I just kind of colored them so that they looked like a beach ball. Like there was a white section in between the colored sections, and that's what I went with. And I colored it with my Olo markers. So that's what I'll do here in a second. We're going to do red, and I can't remember which red that is. It doesn't really matter. Just color it with a bright marker. Honestly, even if you had just a Sharpie, it's totally fine. Just color it. It's just something for the penguins to play with when they're on their beach that I'm creating for them. But I will say I enjoy like the aspect of creativity that I put into cards, because the level of, oh, and now we're going to do blue. The level of like adaptability. To me, it's just fun. We're using the like pen handle for the markers too. I've actually never used it before. I ordered it a couple months ago and I hadn't used the pen handle yet. But it's pretty cool. I like it. I like the way it is like angled kind of like a pen. So it's different than coloring with just a marker with a marker on the other end. I like it. I like it a lot. Probably not necessary for this like coloring this teeny tiny little thing, but since I knew I wanted to try it, I thought I'd give it a shot here. But it probably takes more time than it takes me to color these little sections on these balls. But all in all, I think my little beach balls turned out pretty cool. Let me know in the comments below if you would do something like this to adapt what the scene you had in your head to make things that you don't have in your stash with stamps or dies. Let me know what you think the most creative thing you've adapted is, because I'm always interested in things that people do creatively. It's so much fun to learn these things about other people's craftiness. So my goal with this task is to make cards that look as similar as possible with the new supplies versus the old supplies. So here's my little penguins. And what are we doing now? So I just realized now that the footage that I thought I had of making the penguin with the owl builder punch is not there. So what I'm going to do is tell you how I made the penguin with the owl builder punch. I punched the penguin out in black, and then I punched his little vest thing out in white. And I punched the leg section of him out again in orange. So you punch the whole penguin out in black from the whole owl body, and then you punch the little vest section out with white paper or white cardstock, and then I punched the legs and like half of the body out in orange, and then I cut off the black legs off the black penguin, the whole penguin, and then I glued the little orange legs behind the penguin body. And then I cut off the little owl ears and I glued them on the actually no, scratch that, sorry. What I did was I punched a second black owl body to make his arms, and I cut the ears into arms. That's what I did to make them like that. But you do cut the ears off of the top of the owl body that you're using, and you just clip them off. They're little, whatever, just clip them off so that they just get a rounded look on them. And then you glue the little white vest thingy from the owl onto the body. And you glue the eyes on. The eyes you punch out in white. And then I put little black dots on them for eyeball centers. And I decided that I was going to make this into a beachy scene. So I'm going to use my Favorite Things cloud stencil and do a little bit of blending. And I also found a sun stamp from a very old, close to my heart stamp set. So we're going to use, on the left hand side of the card, we're going to stamp it. I totally need one of those ink stand things. That would be super awesome to keep my ink pads from jiggling all over the place. But we're going to blend some clouds. We're going to kind of avoid the upper left hand corner just so that we will get a good crisp image with our sun there in the left side. And we're going to just make some clouds. We're going to do both of the card bases. And I do have a sheet of paper inside my card because I'm doing the card base. Now we're going to check if the sun is going to fit properly in the upper right hand corner, or upper left hand corner, not right, sorry, upper left. And we're putting that on the Misty. Just because I've already done so much work to this card base, I don't want to risk it by freehanding any of the stamping. And we're going to use Tiki Torch from Catherine Pooler. And I love these little mini inks because I feel like they're just the perfect size. Because they're not tiny, tiny little cubes, but they're like half an ink pad size. And I feel like the sun needs a face, so we're going to use I Like the Way You Roll and take one of the faces that is intended for sushi and see if it fits inside of there. We're going to do the smiley face because I feel like it has to be a happy sun. And at first I was trying to decide if it should be black or yellow for the face, but I did yellow, and I figured if I didn't like the yellow, I could just go over it in black, but I love it. It looks so cute. I will say that I've used those faces from the Gina K I Like the Way You Roll stamp set a lot more than I've used many of the other things from that stamp set. It's a cute stamp set and I really like it, and I love the puns in it. They're so funny, but I've definitely used those faces on so many different things. All right, so now we're assembling this, and see how giant that penguin is? He's totally an emperor penguin. He's humongous. But we're going to try to make this, we're going to cover up the sun as least as possible, and we're going to make that a little bit shorter. We're just going to trim it down So after I had ripped the top, I don't think I got footage of it, but I used it's like called a decal edge ruler or something like that. I got it from Creative Memories a long time ago. I don't think it's a Creative Memories thing anymore. I saw scrapbook.com has one that's very similar. So yeah, but I've had it for a million years. So what I decided to do was just rip both of these so that they looked like the beach at the sand at the beach. And we are going to let them hang over the edge a little bit. We're just going to glue them together at first and then glue them on the card base. And we're going to let them overhang because as we have the trees lined up there, we're going to keep the trees in that position, and I don't want to cut them until they're all done. I want the leaves to have a little bit of movement to them, so I'm not gluing the leaves down. I'm just going to glue the trunks of the trees down. We don't want to accidentally glue our penguins down either while we're doing this because the penguins have to be on the beach. I have this whole thought process in my head going on of what's happening there. These penguins are going to be relaxing on the beach in their off season. All right, and we're going to use the make art station and magnet it down so it dries nicely. And now I got to figure out how to put this ginormous penguin on there. I probably should have made it make the card go the other way so that the penguin wouldn't look so huge, but it is what it is. I think I learned recently that emperor penguins can be over 4 feet tall, which is pretty huge if you ask me. I don't think I've ever seen an emperor penguin that big. Fun fact, when my little brother was 7, 8, he was highly obsessed with penguins. He learned about them in school and he was super obsessed. Like I took him to the aquarium and that was literally the only thing he wanted to see was the penguins. He was not interested in he was being a little stinker about not wanting to look at any of the other animals until we could go see the penguins. And he wanted to spend like the whole remainder of the aquarium visit seeing the penguins, which in hindsight is really cute because he's now approaching 30. So it's a fun story. All right, we are going to repeat basically the same process on this card with the penguins that were made from the Penguin Pals set from Gina K. And we're just arranging their beach. And we're going to arrange their trees as well. Glue everything down. I wish I would have thought to make the tree, the trunks of the trees, curved a little bit. But I didn't have too much faith in my ability to freehand some curved tree trunks. So we did what we could here. This was my best attempt. And I did make the cardstock for the beach 2 different colors. Yeah, I was pretty pleased with it. I think it turned out pretty cool. But let me know how you would do a beachy scene in the comments below, because I always like to know different ideas for things like this. But these penguins are pretty cute. I like them. They're fun. So let me know which ones you like better in the comments below. We are almost done with both of these cards. And we're going to just trim these things off here. Trim off the edges, and then they're going to be all set. All right, so we're just going to finish trimming these off and putting a little bit of glue under the spots that are lifting up a little bit at the corners because we want them to stay nice and secure, especially since there's lots of layers of cardstock on these now and our cute little penguins. And I thought that I could stamp a sentiment down at the very bottom there at a later date when they're for a birthday or whatever they're going to be for. So let me know in the comments which one you like best. Thanks, bye!